I'm going to tell you the one sign that a person has blasphemed the Holy Spirit, that they've committed the unforgivable sin, and that they are cut off from God's salvation forever. But first, I just need to mention this. There are a lot of Christians that are very worried that they've committed this sin, even that are petrified of this. They're filled with a sense of doom that they're on their way to hell. And the reason for this is because of what they read in a particular Bible verse. Matthew 12:31-32. Therefore I tell you, every sin and blasphemy will be forgiven people, but blasphemy against the Spirit will not be forgiven. And whoever speaks a word against the Son of Man will be forgiven, but whoever speaks against the Holy Spirit will not be forgiven, either in this age or in the age to come. So many Christians will read this verse and they'll think to themselves, well, if I've spoken a blasphemous word against Jesus or had a blasphemous thought against Jesus, then I can be forgiven. But if I've spoken a blasphemous word against the Holy Spirit or had a blasphemous thought against the Holy Spirit, then I can't be forgiven. I've committed the unpardonable sin. I've blasphemed the Holy Spirit. I'm cut off from God's salvation and I'm doomed. I'm on my way to hell. And there's nothing that I can do about this, despite the fact that I want to be forgiven, despite the fact that I want to live a life for God. One strike and you're out if you do this. That's what a lot of people think. And people can be filled with such dread and overwhelm and terror. It can completely paralyze them spiritually. Some people even have scrupulosity, which is an obsessive worry about sin and having committed some sin that is unforgivable, being cut off from God forever. Now, before I get to the one sign that a person has blasphemed the Holy Spirit, I just want to say this. You could have said a blasphemous word against the Holy Spirit. You could have thought blasphemous thoughts against the Holy Spirit, but still not have blasphemed the Holy Spirit. Because I'm going to tell you shortly what blasphemy of the Holy Spirit actually is. In fact, you could have ongoing, repetitive, blasphemous thoughts that come into your mind against the Holy Spirit and have not blasphemed the Holy Spirit. Now, in this particular verse that I've mentioned, the context here is that the religious leaders are accusing Jesus of casting out demons by the power of Satan rather than by the power of the Holy Spirit. This is a situation where the divine work of God is clear and obvious and irrefutable for everyone to see. They recognize that this is the case, yet they still harden their hearts and they completely reject that truth and accuse Jesus of casting out demons by the power of Satan. This is a hardened, deliberate, willful rejection despite irrefutable evidence. Now, many people think to themselves that if I've even just said one blasphemous word against the Holy Spirit or had one blasphemous thought, then I've committed blasphemy of the Holy Spirit. I'm cut off from God's salvation. But the fact that you are even worried about that actually shows that your heart is alive to God and proves that you haven't committed blasphemy of the Holy Spirit. And I'll tell you why. And it's because of the one sign that a person has committed blasphemy of the Holy Spirit. That one sign is a rejecting of God, a rebellion against God, a hardening of heart against God unto death, all throughout their life to the point of death, where they don't even desire God, they don't care about God, they don't care about having sinned against God. Now, there are people who reject God and come to salvation later on. Just because someone has hardened their heart, it doesn't mean they've blasphemed the Holy Spirit. But what this does mean, this one sign that it is a hardening of heart unto death, it means that if you have a repentant heart, if you desire to be forgiven, if you're even worried that you've committed blasphemy of the Holy Spirit, then it proves 100% that you haven't, because a person who has blasphemed the Holy Spirit cannot be sorry for it, they cannot be worried about it, they cannot even desire salvation. So I just want to make that clear to you, because I know many of you out there are worrying about this. Blasphemy of the Holy Spirit is not speaking a word or having a thought or even continuous thoughts. It's a hardening of heart where you don't even care that you've blasphemed the Holy Spirit and you have no desire to be forgiven, no desire to seek God. If that's not you and you are worried about having blasphemed the Holy Spirit, then this is 100% proof that you haven't blasphemed the Holy Spirit. And I pray that this puts your mind at ease. Would love to get your thoughts. Leave your comments below and I'll talk to you soon. God bless you, friends.